होता है सो। इन्नल्लाहा व मलाइकतुहु युसल्लूना अलन नबी या अय्युहल्लज़ीना आमनु सल्लु अलैहि व सल्लिमू तस्लीमा। अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर। अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदुर रसूलुल्लाह, रसूलुल्लाह। अशहदु अन्ना अमीरल मुमिनीना व इमामल मुत्तकीना अलियन वलीउल्लाह। अशहदु अन्ना अमीरल मुमिनीना व इमामल मुत्तकीना अलियन हुज्जतुल्लाह। हय्य अलस्सलाह, हय्य अलस्सलाह, हय्य अलल फलाह, हय्य अलल फलाह, हय्य अला खैरिल अमल, हय्य अला खैरिल अमल। अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर। ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي كان موجودا قبل حدوث الأشياء ويبقى بعد فناء الأشياء تفرد بالأولية والقدم ووصم كل شيء ما عداه بالفناء والعدم كما قال عز شأن كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه وكل نفس ذائقة الموت وقال كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام سبحان من لا يخفى عليه اختلاف النيات ولا يعزب عنه معاصي العباد في الخلوات سبحان الله الذي منه خلقة العباد وإليه المعاد فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره نشهد أن لا إله إلا هو الملك الذي لا ينازع في ملكه ولا يضاد في حكمه يعذب من يشاء بما يشاء كيف يشاء ويرحم من يشاء بما يشاء كيف يشاء تعذيبه المسيئين عدل وعفوه تفضل ونشهد أن محمدا سيد المرسلين وخير المبشرين والمنذرين صلى الله عليه وآله الهداة المهديين من ركب سفينتهم نجاه واهتدى ومن تخلف عنها ضل فغرق وهوى أوصيكم عباد الله بالاعتصام بالتقوى فإنه حبل متين وعروة وثقى أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولو بسط الله الرزق لعباده لبغوا في الأرض ولكن ينزل بقدر ما يشاء إنه بعباده خبير بصير صلوات بيجي محمد وآل محمد Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I begin by advising myself and all of you to adopt the taqwa of Allah as is the best of provisions. The verse that I recited is from chapter number 42, Surah Shura, Council, verse number 27, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the series of ayat that lead up to this one, talks about a very important concept. And that concept is in reference to the sustenance and the risk of mankind. Also in reference to things that happen around us and the purpose of those things that happen around us and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has everything measured in precision. And therefore nothing is beyond the precision and the measurement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The translation of the ayat says, وَلَوْ بَسَطَ اللَّهُ الرِّزْقَ لِعِبَادِهِ, were Allah to expand the provision for all of His servants. Basata means to expand. If Allah wanted to equally give it to everyone, expand the provision that He has given to one individual and expand it to everyone in the same amount, He says they would surely create havoc on the earth. They will go ahead and do what? Baghawat. The ayah says, لَبَغَوْا فِي الْأَرْضِ. They will do baghawat. They will do rebellion. They will cause havoc, wreak havoc on the land if everyone had the equal opportunity or equal amount given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now you might argue with that, but obviously it is the ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You might say, well, if everybody is given the equal amount over here sitting in this hall, then none of us will be jealous of the other person. None of us will feel envy of the other person. We'll all have the equal amount and we'll all be happy by ourselves. But the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no. Were Allah to expand the provision for all His servants, they would surely create havoc on the earth. But He sends down in precise measure whatever He wishes. Indeed, He is all aware, all seeing about His servants. The word qadr, which is used here in this ayah, biqadarin ma yasha, which translates as in a precise measure, gives the meaning of quantity and size of everything. Walakin yunazzilu biqadarin ma yasha, but He sends it down in an amount which He wills. That is according to His own will. Allah is suggesting by this verse that if He expands the provision for all His servants equally, and they're all filled, they will surely start doing injustice in the land. As it is, you see, those few who have this, they cause injustice. If everyone had it, then the entire world will be causing and a cause of unjust. Nature of wealth, it is that it brings rebellion and arrogance. And that is the reason not everyone is given the same amount. As the ayat of Surah Alaq, ayat number 6 and 7 says, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَيَطْغَى أَرَّآهُ اسْتَغْنَى. That indeed mankind becomes rebellious when he considers himself without need. So if everyone has the equal amount, then there won't be feeling of need from one another. That will actually lead to chaos according to this ayat of Quran and rebellion. This is precisely the reason why Allah has bestowed sustenance and wealth in a measured quantity for everyone, which may not seem like equal to us, but it is fair in reference to how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has distributed it. Since He knows His servants better, the product that He has put out there, He knows more about it than you and I can study all our lives, and we will never be able to get to the bottom of it. He knows amongst His servants who deserves what amount of sufficiency and poverty is going to be appropriate for a certain individual. So this is based on the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He has created. But at the same time, while there's a lot of talk, there's discussion of those who are affluent to go out and look after those who are in need, that concept is intact. But at the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not distribute it according to equality amongst all of them. One important question, why does Allah give more and more to those when He knows that it will only increase their sins and injustice? As the ayat of Quran, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَيَطْغَى أَرَّآهُ اسْتَغْنَى. If this ghina is, if this self-sufficiency is going to cause them to become what? Rebellion and become taghut and do baghawat, then why is it that continues on increasing? Allama Tabatabai in this reference, in his Tafsir al-Mizan, he mentions this has to do with two sets of rules. I won't have time to go in these two sets of rules, but inshallah maybe we can have a discussion later on. One is the law of trial and tribulation. Imtihan wa bala. That even by giving more and more, there's imtihan and there's bala in it. While Allah is shortening for some people, taking away from some people, that itself looks at, you look at it and say, well, yeah, that is imtihan. When someone's risk is decreasing, that is imtihan. How is it imtihan when someone's risk is increasing? No, he says imtihan is both ways. When it's decreasing, there's imtihan and bala in it. When it's increasing, there's trial and tribulation in it as well. So that's the one set of law. Second, the law of deception, makr, and the gradual bestowal upon request, istidraj, that when a person requests, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives. So these are two sets of laws that he talks about, and then he goes in the details. He said these two laws become the reason why Allah still bestows wealth to those who are disbelievers and rebellion. You say, well, in the world there are so many people who are disbelievers. They should not be worthy of all the wealth that has been given to them. According to this law, this makes sense. This discussion has another side where the question is why some are deprived even from the amount needed for survival. Forget about, having less. But the concept of someone who's struggling to even survive, to make ends meet on, for the next meal, for the very next meal. Forget about the next month or next week or next day. Even for the very next meal. It is either because of the law of trial, and sometimes it is caused by their own wrongdoings. You say, well, we had learned that it is not your wrongdoings which then reflect on shortening or increment of your risk. Because if that's the case, that means you are either being rewarded or punished for your wrongdoings. While the concept was that this world is not a place for accountability. This world was what? A place of trial and tribulation. We'll only be tried over here. But with this trial that we go through, if we do good or if we do bad, we will not be held accountable. Accountability will be in the hereafter. That was a common notion. That if someone is struggling right away, one should not go ahead and say, well, because of their past wrong deeds, they're struggling today. Oh, because they did something 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, this is the reason they are, struggling in this way today. It is quite possible that maybe if you look at their money trail for the past 10 years, 15 years, what they have done with it and how they've used it and spent it, that might lead to some understanding. But here the concept of punishment and reward is not being mentioned. Because if that was the case, then how would you go ahead and explain the state many of our prophets lived in? How would you explain the state that none other than our own Khatimul Anbiya, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, before his marriage to Bibi Khadija salamullah alayha, the life that Rasulullah spent, it was not a life, with affluency and abundance, by any means. So and even losing his parents in infancy, living a life of an orphan, deprived of many things, and growing up in this way, and then being treated badly. None of those things were brought on by himself. See, there's a difference lies. If things are brought on by yourself, then it may lead up to what you have done in the past. But if things are not brought on by yourself, then it could not be the case that you're being punished or rewarded. That ultimate punishment and reward rests in the akhirat, but there are certain things that you are given as far as the retribution of what you have done. So, to back this concept up, there are two ayat in Quran that talk about it. One is very important. It says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Surah Ra'd, ayat number, or rather Surah Ra'd, ayat number 11 maybe. Yeah, ayat number 11. It says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ. That indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not change the state of a people if they do not go ahead and do something about it themselves. If you're just stagnant, sitting, and not doing anything, there's no harakat from you, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to do much to you either. He's not going to go ahead and pick you up and, make you do something. You gotta start, you gotta initiate something. That's what this ayat is. Inna Allah la yughayyiru. Allah does not change the state, does not, by any means. Unless you start doing something. Hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Unless they go ahead and change themselves. So you need to bring this change, you need to bring about some positivity, you need to start moving, only then expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to go ahead and lend a hand to you. At another place in Surah Shura, he said, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُّصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَيَعْفُو عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. And not a single musibat comes to you, except what you have earned through your own hands. So this ayat may lead you to believe that, all the masa'ib that have come upon us is because of what we've done in the past. And many of us have done some wrong things in the past. And therefore we are, paying for that what we have done in the past. So according to this ayat, that's what it means. Yes, what you have caused through your own self with your own hands. You can go ahead and take this formula and fit it to those who are masumeen, those who are infallible, that when they're struggling, when they're going through difficult times, when they are facing trials and tribulation, it's not because, na'udhu billah, they had done something in the past. They've always been obedient servant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this ayat excludes them because ayat says, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُم. You have earned it through your own hands. You caused it to happen by yourself. So some have contradicted by saying that masa'ib in this verse is not referring towards the masa'ib of this world. The musibat, the trials and the tribulations. Since the world is a place of action and not reward and punishment. So I explained that concept. And therefore there are numerous verses in ahadith which mention that insan is sometimes punished for his actions within this world. And that's why we have these du'as. Oh Allah, punish me in this world and not in the hereafter. And we make the dua, oh Allah, reward us in the hereafter and not in this world. Why? Because the punishment of over there is more severe than the punishment over here. And the reward of over there is far superior than the reward of this world. So the reward of this world will perish, but the reward of the hereafter will remain. The punishment of this world will be temporary because this world is of temporary nature. But the severe punishment of the hereafter, obviously, there's so much that has been mentioned. So we have the ahadith and the ayat to back this account up. Salawat biji Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Number of gender of children, it's only God's bestowal. I mean, that's another discussion within this discussion. So I'll skip that one because, that opens up another gate. And because the time of namaz is also changing. Today, Zawal time was 12:11. So when you look at the clock, it's already 12:30. So, well, Maulana, it's time for you to get off. No, I only began at 12:15. So inshallah, I'll be another 4 or 5 more minutes before I bring it towards conclusion. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لِكَيْ لَا تَعْسَوْا عَلَى مَا فَاتَكُمْ وَلَا تَفْرَحُوا بِمَا آتَاكُمْ وَاللَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ. So that you may not grieve for what escapes you, nor boast for what comes your way. Grieve for what has left you, what you have lost, and brag and boast about that which has come your way. If something is coming my way, I start bragging about it. I start boasting about it. If I lose something, I start grieving about it. This grief overcomes me. He says, no. And Allah does not like the swaggering braggart, because nor boasting of you, nor grief of you will bring about any change. Yes, it is the nature of insan that when you lose something, you feel grief. Especially if that thing is an individual, that is a person, that a loved one, right? You will feel grief for losing a loved one. If you speak materialistically, even many of us, losing a materialistic thing will feel grief. For example, you were coming here, you took a train, and you left your phone in the train. Now, the phone is gone. So you'll feel grief a little bit for a time being. But, it was expensive, it was this, I had the material, forget about the expensiveness of it. I had the data on it, and the data was not on the cloud, so I lost all the data that was in there, that's more. So you feel grief about it. That's only natural. And that's not a grief in a sense that you're sitting down and crying over it, right? You should not be sitting down and crying over it. Yes, it was something which you should have been more careful, and that's what happened. That's where the ayat of Quran says, بِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُم. You did it yourself. You were occupied somewhere else, your mind was occupied somewhere else, and you forgot it over there. And I think it may have happened to many of us, that we have left this sort of thing in an airplane, or at an airport, or in a train, or somewhere where it's very difficult for you to go back and gain access to it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that whatever good comes to you, don't brag about it. And whatever leaves you, don't feel grief over it. Because this is all in the understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here the concept of mukhtal is in the meaning of arrogance and imagining oneself to be bigger than others. This verse is explaining the reason behind the previous verse that is told that events before they take place are all in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever is happening today, and this brings me that I want to tie up to the events that are happening currently around us. All of that is happening is not something accidental, is spontaneous. No, all of this is in the, again, written down and known and is in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is where the iman of insan, as it increases, will start to realize and will start to believe in it. All the bitter and sweet incidents are black and white steps for you to rise and reach perfection. You see something bitter may have happened. How do you react to that bitterness? How do you react to that evil? That is how you're going to be able to rise. If you just sit idly, say, well, this is so bad that has happened, now all the troubles will come about and I can't do anything about it. No, these bitter and sweet are like black and white steps that are there for you. You avoid the one which are leading you towards the ditch, may even lead you towards uncertainty, and this is how you go ahead and bring about your rise. So we can understand our role by looking at a bank's teller, person who's working at the bank. His duty, he's standing at that window when you go make a deposit, and people all day long when they're making a deposit, that he's getting all this cash and he's depositing it. Should he start feeling excited that I got so much cash today that I deposited them back? No. The same way people came and deposited, the very next day or the very same day, some people came and withdrew their money out of the bank. This teller has nothing to do to get excited and feel brag and start boasting, nor should he feel grief if someone is taking their money back. This is just coming in as what? As a trust, and this is leaving as a trust. This is the same concept that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to understand when it comes to goods coming towards us and grief or evil coming towards us. Salawat bi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So he said that everything is part of a system designed from before in order to bring your souls to the heights of perfection, so that these bitter and sweet events no longer affect you. Now, it's very difficult to tame yourself, to not let these things affect you. It's easier said than done. Something affects you. Even the smallest of the things has an impact on you. It's very difficult to overlook sometimes. But God, by telling us that everything is part of a system, you realize and you look at it from the examples, those who presented it, even when they were facing the most difficult of the trials, how do they come out of it? The first example that I have, and I have 4 or 5 examples for you, and I'll go through it quickly. Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha. That after the events of Karbala, going through all that, massacre at Karbala and the cruelty and the difficulty that she faced, still when she stands in front of the ruler, the tyrant ruler of the time, she says, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. I did not see anything except beauty in it. Because if that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed for us, then that's what we wanted as well. We are in line with the want and the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 2, Imam Hussein ibn Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, in the face of death, in the last moments of his life, he said, Oh Allah, I'm pleased with your decree and I'm forbearing in front of these trials and tribulations. When he was carrying his 6-month-old Ali Asghar, what Imam uttered the words? When Hazrat Ali Asghar was pierced through with this arrow, what were the words of Imam? These are the words of Imam Hussein. He said, Hawwana alayya ma nazala bi annahu bi'aynillah. This right here in my hand is easy for me. Why? Because it's in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is watching it. That's why it's an easy task for me. If Allah was not watching, then yes, it would be difficult. Kind of like, now let me just give you an example, that if something wrong is happening to me, and if someone who has authority is watching, how would you feel? The authority saw it, what was happening to me. And so therefore, be witness that authority was watching. Here Imam is saying, yeah, these people may be killing me in the middle of a desert, but hawwana alayya, it is easy for me. It's a very easy task for me to even present the 6-month-old. Why? بأنه بعين الله, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's all in front of Allah. Allah is watching. And that's what makes this task easy for me. Last example from Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam al-Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, who compares his passion and intimacy towards shahadat with love of child towards his mother. That Imam says, my ardent love, this love that I have for death, that I hope for it, is more than a child's love for his mother, for example. A child loves a mother. There's no way of describing that. Imam says, my love, wallahu li ibn Abi Talib anisu bil mawti min at-tifli bi thadi ummihi. I am more, actually, he's not saying equal. I have more love for it. So, if we consider the events of this world based on the knowledge and the wisdom of Allah and not coincidental and without a reason, we won't get jealous, we won't feel greedy, we won't get mad, we won't feel enmity, since we know that it was designed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from before, and all could be taken away in an instant because it is only temporary. There's more to this discussion. Inshallah, I'll leave it off for next week. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and ability to understand this phenomena and to not grieve over that which we have lost and not to brag and boast about that which has come towards us. Inna asl al-hadith wa ablagh al-mu'idha kitabullah a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus solihat wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحليم الكريم غافر الذنب وقابل التوب وهو الغفور الرحيم سبحان من سبقت رحمته غضبا ووسط اليدين بالرحمة سبحان من لم يكلف نفسا إلا دون وسعها وفعن السيئات ولم يجاز بها سبحان من لا يزداد على معاصي العباد إلا كرما وجودا ولا كثرة الذنوب إلا عفوا وصفا نشهد أن لا إله إلا هو لا توفى العباد بجود ولا فاد المذنبين بحلمه ونشهد أن محمدا نبيه وحبيبه سيد المرسلين وشفيع المذنبين بعثه رحمة للعالمين صلى الله عليه وآله على قدم رقم الله في محكم كتابه بالصلاة على نبيه وحبيبه فقال تعليما لكم وتشريفا لصفي إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيد المرسلين وشفيع المذنبين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وعلى إمام المسلمين وقائد الغر المحجلين أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب وعلى سيدة النساء العالمين وبذة خاتم النبيين سيدتنا فاطمة بنت رسول الله صلوات الله عليها وعلى الحسن المجتبى والحسين الشهيد بكربلاء وعلي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي عليهم الصلاة والسلام. اللهم صل على مولانا صاحب الزمان ما هي آثار البدع والطغيان هادم أبنية الشرك والنفاق حاسد فروع البغي والشقاق صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آبائه الكرام اتصلت الليالي والأيام. اللهم عجل فرجا وسهل واكحل ناظرنا بنظرة منا إليه واجعلنا من المستشهدين بين يديه وتفضل على أمراء المؤمنين بمزيد التوفيقات وازدياد الإقبال وعلو الدرجات. اللهم افعل بنا ما أنت أحله ولا تفعل بنا ما نحن أحله بجاه محمد وآله المعصومين صلوات الله عليهم أجمعين. ذكروا فتن فذكر إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. صلاة الجمعة. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم. ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. قل يا أيها الذين هادوا إن زعمتم أنكم أولياء لله من دون الناس فتمنوا الموت إن كنتم صادقين ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم والله عليم بالظالمين. قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائمة قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار بجاه محمد وآله الأطهار. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمد ربي صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين بجاه محمد وآله الطاهرين. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف بجاه محمد وآله الطاهرين. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على
محمد وآل محمد. الله محمد وآل محمد. تسبيح جناب فاطمة الزهراء سلام الله عليها. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. All of us together. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today's Juma lunch is sponsored by the family of Mr. Sayyid Altaf and Dr. Samina Naqvi. Let's recite a Surah Fatiha for their marhumin as well as ours, including also for marhuma Safiya Navi. She was the wife of our beloved Sheikh Jalil from Maryland. She passed away a few days ago. Fatiha. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let's all recite this dua together for all those who need our prayers for their health, for their safety, and for their security, including also for Brother Zahid Rupani and Brother Mohsin Naqvi. Let's all recite together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibul muzdarra iza da'ahu wa yakshifu su. 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 Salawat, please. Quick reminder about our weekly program. So we have Arabic classes every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. So tonight at 7 p.m. as well as the Quran Circle every Saturday morning after Fajr Salat. And both of these are under the guidance of Maulana Rizwan Rizvi. This being the end of the month, so just a reminder for those who are interested, the first Sunday of every month, there is a majlis at 535 Texas Road. That's a cemetery where Wadi Salam is also located. There are 4 sections where our brothers and sisters are buried. And so the majlis rotates every Sunday, every month. So again, if you're interested, you can go there at 11 a.m. sharp this coming Sunday at 535 Texas Road. The majlis is very short, takes hardly half an hour. And on the same topic, if you wish to contribute to the burial fund, or you wish to purchase graves at Wadi Salam, Brother Murtaza Ali Dina is here. You can talk to him. The masjid never charges for ghusl and kafan services, but of course there are costs associated with the graves and with the funeral as well. So Brother Murtaza can give you more information on that. This coming Sunday, February 9th, Muslims for Peace is hosting their 14th annual Prophet Muhammad Conference at Rutgers University at 1:30 p.m. Notable speakers are Sayyid Mustafa Al-Qazwini from California, as well as Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. And finally, Sadiq School, alhamdulillah, has been operating since September 2019. And the school is accepting pre-K and K students for the next school year. So if you have kids aged 3 to 5, or your family or friends have, and then you want to put them in pre-K or K, please see Dr. Kharazi for more information. And on the same topic, as announced previously at some point, if you shop at Amazon, go to smile.amazon.com, register Sadiq School as your non-profit of choice, and all the money you spend on purchase at Amazon, 0.5% will go to Sadiq School. No extra cost to you at all. This comes up from Amazon directly, and it takes 5 minutes to sign up. So go to smile.amazon.com and pick Sadiq School as your non-profit organization. And with that, let's proceed to Salatul Asr. With the loud salawat, please.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, shadu an la ilaha illallah, shadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, shadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, shadu anna Aliyan Waliyullah, shadu anna Aliyan Hujjatullah, hayya ala salat, hayya